and your health. Hello, welcome to Tech Talk with Chet, also known as your technology tutor. It's a Tuesday morning, and it's great to be with you. Delighted to be with you each weekday here. And as we talk about tech and how it impacts you, your work life, and especially for those of you who are experts and authors and looking to maximize the potential to use technology to have an impact with your audience, with the hundreds and thousands of people who might be able to reach out and connect with you using technology. Today I wanted to talk about this topic. It's particularly been in the news the last year or so since Apple came out with something they call Night Shift on their mobile devices using iOS, the operating system for iPhone and iPad. It's been around for longer than that. There's companies that have an application. There's a couple applications. The one I know is called f.lux, and it's available for Windows and Mac computers. And all of this is about what we call the circadian sleep rhythm. And the circadian sleep rhythm is our ancestors would, we imagine, because I wasn't around then, I don't know that you were, but would follow kind of their daily, what we call the daily pattern, the daily flow, based on the sun, whether the sun's rising or the sun is setting and the sun is sleeping and the moon is out. And the circadian sleep rhythm was how our bodies react to light, usually to natural light. And specifically, we're talking about the sun in this universe because there's only one. And we've changed that over the last 100+ years because of artificial light sources, where, back in the day, my grandparents on a farm in North Dakota would wake up when the sun rose because we had natural light and we could do our work. And we went to bed usually when the sun went down, although there was candles. And then after that, we had electric light and etc. And then we have brought into the home entertainment. So then we had, radio, and we had television, and now we have computers and mobile devices that not only inform us that we work with, but also that entertain us. And over the last number of years, there's been some research that indicates that humans do better with that natural light. And in the evening times, the devices that we have been said to kind of put out a blue light, a blue hue of light. Now, it's not obviously blue, like, wow, that's really blue, until you compare it with what's not blue. And it's hard for us to tell that light is broken down into different parts of the spectrum, and we can see that when we do a research way back in the day in school, whether it was elementary school or high school or college, when you got to look at light through a prism, and you see that actually light is broken up into portions, and even there's light that's not visible, ultraviolet light, etc. But what I'm talking about here is we have the ability now, particularly those of you on an Apple device, it's baked into the operating system. It's included in the later versions of the operating system. What I'd like to do is just show that to you. You can also get this on the Android platform, for example. There is an app called Twillight, and there's some other apps. You can also get f.lux for the Android platform as well. But I'm going to go ahead and transition to my other screen here, and I'm going to bring up my iPhone to just show you what I'm talking about. So there we go. So we have my iPhone here, and I'm going to go into settings. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down here to display and brightness. And you'll see there's something here called Night Shift. Night Shift. See this? And you click on that, and you can have it scheduled. Now, this turns it on. If this is not here, it doesn't turn it on. But when you do this, it turns it on. There's two different methods. You can set a specific time, creating your own rhythm. So mine right now is set to turn on my night shift at 10 p.m. and then turn off at 7 a.m. When night shift is off, it turns to the regular colors that we're seeing. You can also click in the later versions of the Apple iOS, you can click sunrise to sunset. And as long as location settings is enabled, it will actually adjust according to the actual sunrise in your area. And here, let me just show you what I'm talking about. This is not night shift enabled right now. The night shift is enabled, but it's not active. Night shift is not active. When I turn on night shift, see the different colored hue? it's a warmer tone. Some people would call it kind of a brownish. And when I turn it off, it becomes white bluish. Turn it on, it becomes, it's still white, but it's a warm white. And there's been a lot of research by sleep doctors in the last couple decades as well. And some patients who are having difficulty sleeping, they do something called light therapy, and they actually use different colors of light. You may notice this. If you've gone to the hardware store, the supply store, and done some research into this, you can buy lights for your home or office that have a different hue, that have a different color, a different tint to them, because it can be better for your eyes to work in different color lights. And the big thing here is that with this night shift on, there is a suggestion, there is some evidence to suggest in research that going to warmer colors on your devices near bedtime will help you to sleep better. So with that slight demonstration between, the warmer colors, what people would say the brown, but it's more accurate to say the warmer colors and the colder colors, which is kind of a lighter blue, there may be an impact to your ability to sleep better at night using your device. But overall, the sleep doctors and even traditional doctors will say that the best option for you to get a good night's sleep is stop using your mobile devices like within an hour of bedtime. So I have vivid images of my late parents falling asleep most each night, watching the Late Show on television. So maybe television when you're tired laying on the sofa is not so bad. But mobile devices and computers, especially those of us who are doing work with them, we find ourselves engaged. We're on television, it's very passive. You're sitting in there and you're watching the person sing or talk or what have you, and act. And it may be much easier to fall asleep. But with our mobile devices, with our smartphones in bed, we're scrolling through Facebook, we're clicking on things, we're adding content. And those of you who are maybe working late like me, you're on your computer, you're typing out the words to your speech or your next course, you're maybe crafting your online presentation for tomorrow or next week, and you're engaged with the device. That makes it much harder for us to kind of shut down and fall asleep. So it is advantageous to get away from work kind of related behavior an hour before bedtime. Relax, maybe watch something. If you have to have a mobile device with you, watch something pleasing on iTunes, a relaxing channel, nature videos with some meditation music, something like that. Now, in tomorrow's program, I'm going to deal with another topic of technology and your health. Specifically, tomorrow, I want to focus on something that optometrists, that eye doctors have said has just gone through the roof in the last couple decades, and how you can avoid that and how you can prevent it. Chet Davis, your technology tutor, saying thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at this time.